Have you ever noticed how some women never flirt loudly or make their interest obvious? Instead of teasing, touching, or saying something bold, they do something much quieter. They watch, they observe, they ask questions that seem simple on the surface, but carry much deeper meaning underneath. This becomes especially true when a woman feels drawn to a man over 50. At this stage of life, attraction rarely looks dramatic. It looks thoughtful, it looks cautious, and it almost always hides inside curiosity. Many men reach their 50s believing they have become invisible. They assume women no longer notice them, or that attraction belongs only to younger men with louder energy. But the truth is often the opposite. Mature men can be deeply attractive when they carry calm stability and self-awareness. The problem is not a lack of interest. The problem is misreading the signals. Women at this stage do not want to appear needy. They do not want to risk embarrassment or rejection. They also do not want to feel like they are chasing. So instead of being direct, they test gently. They place small emotional feelers into conversation and watch how a man responds. These moments are easy to miss if you're expecting obvious flirting. But if you learn to recognize them, everything changes. When a woman begins to feel emotionally curious about a mature man, her behavior shifts in subtle ways. The conversation stops being random. Her questions become more intentional. She's no longer just talking to pass time. She's listening for something deeper. She wants to sense your emotional steadiness, your awareness, and your openness. Attraction for her is not about excitement first. It is about safety and presence. Most men misunderstand this. They assume that if a woman is interested, she will make it clear. They expect compliments, teasing, or physical closeness. But women often communicate attraction indirectly, especially when they feel something meaningful. They explore first. They feel before they act, and they use questions as their bridge. A woman does not ask certain questions out of boredom. She asks them because she wants to understand your inner world. She wants to know if you are emotionally available or emotionally closed. She wants to feel whether you are grounded or insecure. She wants to see if you notice what is happening between the two of you, or if you move through life unaware of subtle connection. These questions are not about gathering information. They are about alignment. They are emotional tests, not intellectual ones. And once a woman asks them, she rarely asks again. If the moment is missed, she quietly withdraws and moves on without explanation. This is where many men over 50 get stuck. They answer too literally. They respond with facts instead of presence. They think they are just having a casual conversation while the woman is quietly deciding whether emotional closeness is possible. Women do not open themselves emotionally unless they feel a sense of calm strength from a man. They are drawn to men who feel steady, men who know who they are, men who are comfortable with silence and not rushing to impress. When a woman senses this, her curiosity deepens, and that curiosity shows up as questions. There are many questions people ask every day, but only a few carry emotional weight. Among them, two appear again and again when a woman is carefully exploring intimacy with a mature man. These questions come from instinct, not strategy. Even when a woman does not consciously know why she is asking, her emotional intelligence guides her. Before those questions appear, something important happens. She begins to imagine what it might feel like to be closer to you, not physically first, but emotionally. She wonders whether your life has space for her. She wonders whether your presence would feel safe or distant. She wonders whether you are living with intention or simply passing time. This is especially true with older men. Women often assume that a man over 50 has already built his emotional world. They hesitate to step into it unless they feel there is room for them to matter. So they test gently. They open a small door and watch whether you step forward or remain guarded. One of the biggest mistakes men make is believing these moments are random. They are not. They are emotional checkpoints. And when you understand that, you stop guessing whether a woman is interested in you. You begin to feel it instead, Attraction at this stage of life is quieter, but it is also deeper. It is not about performance, it is about presence. Women are not looking for perfection. They are looking for emotional clarity. They want to feel that a man is alive inside, not just physically present, but emotionally aware and grounded. When a woman senses that kind of energy, she leans in emotionally. She becomes curious about your inner life, and that curiosity reveals itself through questions that seem simple but carry real intention. In the next part, we will explore the first of these questions and why it matters so deeply. It is a question that many men dismiss without realizing. It is often the first doorway a woman opens when she is considering emotional closeness. If you have ever felt confused about whether a woman was interested in you, this is where clarity begins. The first question often arrives quietly, almost disguised as casual conversation. A woman might ask it while sipping coffee, during a relaxed walk, or in the middle of a comfortable exchange where nothing feels rushed. It may sound ordinary, even forgettable, but emotionally it carries weight. This question is her way of checking whether there is space for her in your life. Not practically, but emotionally. She's not asking about your calendar. She is asking about your heart. When a woman feels drawn to a man over 50, she becomes very careful. She knows that life has shaped you. She assumes you have routines, habits, and emotional boundaries that are already well established. So before she allows herself to feel more, she needs to know one thing first. Is this man open, or is he closed off behind comfort and solitude? That is why she asks questions that revolve around how you spend your time. She may ask if you enjoy being alone, if you go out much, or if you mostly keep to yourself. She may phrase it lightly, even playfully, but underneath she is asking something much deeper. She is asking whether emotional closeness would feel welcome or intrusive. Many men misunderstand this moment. They think she is making conversation or simply being polite. They answer without awareness, not realizing that this question is an invitation, not an interrogation. When a man responds defensively, jokingly, or with emotional distance, the door closes quietly. This question is not about loneliness. A woman is not checking whether you are sad or isolated. She is checking access. She wants to know whether your inner world has space for connection. Women do not want to force themselves into a man's life. They want to feel invited without pressure. When a man answers with calm openness, something shifts. It tells her that he values his independence, but is not emotionally locked away. It tells her that closeness would not feel like an inconvenience. It tells her that he is comfortable with himself and that comfort creates safety. A grounded response is not long or dramatic. It does not explain your entire lifestyle. It simply communicates balance. It suggests that you enjoy your space, but are open to meaningful connection. That combination is deeply attractive because it shows strength without rigidity. When a woman hears that kind of answer, she relaxes internally. Her nervous system feels safer. She feels permission to lean in emotionally without fear of rejection or pressure. And when she feels that safety, her curiosity deepens. This is where the second question begins to form. But it does not come immediately. She watches your energy first. She observes how you speak, how you listen, and whether you are present or distracted. Women are incredibly sensitive to emotional cues. They notice tone, pauses, and consistency. If your presence feels steady, if you are not trying to impress or withdraw, she feels encouraged. And when she feels encouraged, she asks the question that reveals her deeper interest. The second question is never random. It is more personal, more exposed. When she asks it, she is already imagining emotional closeness. She is already wondering whether your lives could align in some meaningful way. She may ask what you are looking for these days. She may ask what you want at this stage of your life. She may ask what kind of connection feels right to you now. However it is phrased, the intention is the same. She's asking about your direction. This is not about your job or future plans. It is about whether your life feels intentional. Women do not invest emotionally in men who drift. They are drawn to men who feel anchored, men who know themselves, men who move forward with quiet purpose. When a woman asks this question, she is listening for clarity, not certainty. She does not expect you to have everything figured out. She simply wants to feel that you are not lost inside yourself. She wants to sense that your life has movement and meaning. Many men struggle here. Some answer too cautiously, afraid of vulnerability. Others overshare, trying to prove depth. Both responses can disconnect the moment. What works is simplicity and presence. A calm answer communicates that you value connection, but only when it feels natural and peaceful. It shows that you are open without chasing. It shows that you respect yourself enough to be selective. This kind of energy feels safe to a woman because it suggests emotional maturity. Women over 40 and 50 are not playing games. They are not testing men for entertainment. They are protecting their emotional energy. When they ask these questions, they are deciding whether opening their heart would feel wise. This is why these moments matter so much. They are not small talk. They are emotional turning points, and they happen quietly without drama or announcement. When a man understands this, he stops missing opportunities. He stops replaying conversations later and realizing too late what was being offered. Awareness allows him to meet the moment with confidence rather than confusion. In the final part, we will explore how these two questions work together, why women rarely repeat them, and how recognizing them changes everything about connection at this stage of life. This is where understanding turns into quiet power. When these two questions appear together, they form a complete emotional picture. The first explores your openness, the second explores your direction. One checks whether there is space in your inner world. The other checks whether that world is moving with intention. Together they help a woman decide whether stepping closer to you would feel safe, meaningful, and emotionally grounded. What many men never realize is that women almost never ask these questions casually. They may sound gentle and ordinary, but emotionally they are decisive. By the time a woman asks them, she has already felt something. She has already imagined connection on some level. She is not looking for perfection, she is looking for clarity. This is why women rarely repeat these questions. Asking them requires vulnerability. Even if it does not appear that way on the surface, emotionally it is a risk. If she senses emotional distance, confusion, or avoidance in your response, she will not challenge you or push further. She will simply pull back and protect herself quietly. At this stage of life, women value emotional safety more than excitement. They have lived enough to know that attraction without stability leads to disappointment. When they feel drawn to an older man, they are not chasing fantasy. They are sensing whether his presence would feel calming or draining. This is also why men over 50 are often more attractive than they believe. Calm confidence, self-knowledge, and emotional steadiness are powerful, but those qualities must be felt, not declared. Women experience them through how you answer simple questions, how you hold space, and how you remain present without pressure. When a man responds with awareness, something important happens inside a woman. Her body relaxes, her curiosity deepens, she feels seen and respected. Emotional attraction grows naturally when she feels that a man is grounded within himself. These moments are not about saying the perfect words, they are about energy. A woman listens for tone, ease, and sincerity. She wants to feel that you are comfortable with who you are and where you are going. That comfort creates trust, and trust is what allows intimacy to develop. Many men look back on conversations and realize later that a door was opened and quietly closed. This often leads to regret or confusion, but awareness changes everything. When you learn to recognize these emotional signals, you no longer wonder whether a woman is interested. You feel it in the moment. Women communicate attraction subtly, especially as they mature. They test emotional readiness before expressing desire. They want to feel that a man's life has depth, direction, and room for connection. When they ask questions about your openness and your path, they are offering you an invitation. This understanding is not about manipulation or technique. It is about presence. It is about listening beyond words and responding from a grounded place. When you do this, you stand out naturally. You become a man who feels safe, intentional, and emotionally awake. A woman does not need grand gestures or constant attention. She needs to feel that when she steps closer, she will be met with steadiness and clarity. These two questions are her way of checking that quietly. As life moves forward, remember this: you are not invisible. You are not past your prime. Attraction does not fade with age. It changes form. It becomes quieter, deeper, and more intentional. When you carry calm awareness and emotional presence, women feel it. The next time a woman asks about your solitude or your direction, pause, feel the moment, recognize what is being offered. She's not asking for information. She is asking whether she can trust you with her emotional world. When you answer with calm clarity, you do more than respond to a question. You open a door together. And when that happens, connection unfolds naturally, without force, without confusion, and without regret. At this stage of life, the most attractive quality a man can offer is not certainty, wealth, or charm. It is emotional presence. It is knowing who you are and moving forward with intention. Women feel that deeply, and when they do, they move closer in their own quiet.